Hello, richyboy.com, and today I'm going to tell you my 5 tips for April 2019. Let's start. Here I am close to the city where I was born, and I grew up, Fontenay-le-Comte in Vendée, in the west of France. And here I've got a field, an abandoned train track, railway, okay, railway. So here we are. So let's start. First advice or tip, or how you want to call it, place yourself in the situation of the person you make a picture of. It's true that very often I've spoken about ethical things and the way we should respect people, but I'm not speaking about this. I speak about technical point of view. Very often we tell people, oh yeah, take this pose, place your body like this, do that. And if we would try ourselves to do it, we would find out it's impossible, or it's very unstable, or it's very incommodating. And maybe that person doesn't dare to tell you or cannot do it, and you all get nervous. So try to do it yourself. Place yourself where that person is and try to do the same thing. And then there is a lighting point of view. It's true that we normally look from the camera and we see, oh, the lighting is fine. But sometimes when you do a flash out of your camera body, in this case, maybe the orientation is not fine. So you think it's fine, but if you would go where the person is, you would find that the light, the umbrella or softbox is not pointing at that person, but pointing on the side or things like this. So if you place yourself in the situation of the person you make picture of, then you will see better if what you're doing is possible, if it's going to come out all right, if lighting is fine. It does help a lot to do this. The following advice is camera first out, last in. I see many people, they go to weddings and they go to parties and they go to journalist work or whatever. They arrive, they get their flash out, they get the stand out, they get reflectors out, and then at last the camera. But while they were getting the flash out and the reflectors or whatever, something happened and they missed a picture because the camera was not there, was not ready. So if they had taken first the camera out of their bag, have it next to the hand, then if anything happened, a special moment or someone enters a place, whatever, they can grab the camera and make the picture. Maybe it won't be, what you hear is an acrobatic plane that is training above me, okay? So maybe the picture won't be perfect because your lighting was not set yet or whatever, but very often a picture, even if it's not perfect, may be really good anyway because it tells a lot. But for that, you need the camera to be ready. And then when you pack your gear, same thing. Pack the camera last. Because very often I see wedding photographers, and they pack the camera, then they pack the lights and all this, and then the bride or the bridegroom or friends, they do something funny and the camera was not there. It was already packed. If you were already going on the car park, that's no problem. But this is the last thing you should pack, your camera. And the first thing you should unpack is your camera. The following advice has to do a bit with what I've just said. Is I see very often people, they walk around with the camera hanging like this on the side or in the hand, and when something happens, because if you are in a special place where there are many things happening, because you did street photography or a party or whatever, you must have your camera in your hand, in your left hand, and ready to go to your eye like this, always ready like this, not hanging in your hands like this. If you want to make that kind of picture, obviously, if there's no problem missing a picture, that's no problem. But if you must go like hunting, you know, I mean, where they do clay shooting, the guy is not with his gun down and the small plate is flying, and then say, oh, let's go for it. No, he's ready, yeah, like this. Same thing, you must be ready. Your camera must be in your hand, ready to go up your eye, always. The following advice is, many people tell me that their battery doesn't last long, especially with mirrorless cameras, and mine lasts a lot. So I started to see what other people were doing, and I saw people doing like me and have no battery problem, and other people that have battery time that are really bad, a lot worse than what the maker announces, the brand, the maker of the camera announces. Actually, I get better time that Olympus says, better battery length, and other people have a lot shorter. This is not for Olympus, it's for any camera, but especially for mirrorless. The first reason is people are checking the screen all the time. Any camera, all the time they're checking the screen, they review the picture they've just made. If they make 10 pictures, they review 10 pictures. If they have made 30, from 1 to 30. And then when they get to 100, they go back from 1 to 100. And that kills the battery. If you're on a trip with friends or family and you stop for eating, if you don't have a second or third or any spare batteries, don't start going through all the pictures with the family. Look at this, because then when you finish eating, you go out and you have no battery left. You'll look at them at home. That's simple. People forget to switch off their camera. Although I said before, you need to be ready, because this is when you're in action. But if you're not in action, switch off the camera, because people don't realize one thing. Most mirrorless, they go from the viewfinder to the screen automatically. So you look, you make your picture, then you look at the screen, and then you drop your camera. And as the screen goes off, you think the camera is stopped, but that's not true. Your camera is actually now using the viewfinder, and this consumes battery. So obviously, you're killing the battery and you're not aware of it. Then many cameras, I mean mirrorless especially, you have the option to have the autofocus always on. On my camera it's configured this way. When I press off shutter, off trigger, then it starts focusing. But if you active the option, there's one option that even if you're not touching the trigger, the autofocus is working all the time, just a way for you to be ready. But I think this is nonsense. The camera doesn't know where you will be pointing anyway, so it's stupid to have this autofocus working all the time. So imagine your camera is hanging here, it's on, and you don't even know, and then the autofocus is working. That kills the battery in half an hour, you know. So it's important to deactivate this option. It's autofocus only when you half press the trigger, not just all the time. And then you have the option to have the camera to go sleeping or switch off, and people put too long time. I think for it to go sleeping, depends on the kind of picture you're making, but very often 30 seconds is enough. With just pressing any button, or you just gently touch the shutter, the trigger, it will wake up. So I put 30 seconds. And then for switch off, people put 4 hours. I mean, if in 4 hours you haven't touched a camera, this is nonsense. Obviously, even if it's asleep, it does consume some energy. So put maximum 30 minutes for the camera to switch off. So it is. So these were the 5 tips for this month, April 2019. Thank you for watching them. You can share this video on your social network. There's a small sharing button down there. If you wish to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I thank you for it. There is a button down there, a small bell. If you click on it, you get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgimbal.com. If you have any question, you can send me an email to info@ericgimbal.com or put a comment below. And below in the description, I've put links to other parts of my channel and also links to my gear on Amazon. Thank you very much. Bye.